Hi, my name is Beth Wingrove and I'm going to draw my life. Sometime one September, some magical stuff happened, bow chicka wow wow, and eventually I was born on Friday the 13th of June 1986. Probably an unlucky day for my mum because I came out bum first with my elbow stuck out to the side. It was pretty epic apparently, but you know me, I like to make an entrance or an exit. My dad was a long-haired lorry driver and my mum was a gardener and a bit of a drinker. We lived together in a small village called Clavering, and I remember I used to sleepwalk all the time and have the most surreal nightmares. My mum once found me curled up at the bottom of the stairs because I had this dream that loads of breakfast bowls were coming to eat me. They chased me all the way down the stairs and I still remember that dream now. I remember getting to the bottom of the stairs and just giving up because they had me cornered. I curled up into a ball and just screamed my head off. I think I used to scream quite a lot actually. Psycho child. In October 1989, my brother was born and we moved to a nearby village called Yatton. I was only 3, but I quite enjoyed his company. He grew and we'd share toys and play together and occasionally fight. Sometimes I'd scratch him and he'd scream his head off, so my mum would cut my nails really short. Maybe that's why I don't like cutting my nails. It's kind of like a form of punishment to me. So my parents split up when I was 4 and we stayed with my mum in Yatton. We'd visit my dad and my nan at the weekends and without fail always had a roast dinner with loads of potatoes and sausages and really thick gravy. It grossed me out so much that I refused to touch anything with gravy on it. It was really nice family times though, bar the gravy. Blech. We moved in with my auntie a few times throughout the years. They were crazy family times in really crowded houses, but it was really cool though because my cousin Rachel was the same age as me and we used to hang out a lot and share secrets and play with Barbies and sometimes gang up on my brother when he was being a little shit. We were like unidentical twin sisters. We used to sometimes fight over who got the prettiest towel. One time she took the last pretty towel from the drawer and I was left with this really ugly one with a picture of a pig on it. We ended up having this massive screamy snatchy fight and we got shouted at and told off. It was fine though, we were only 6. They say school years are the best years of your life. Well, mine were the worst. I hated school. I was the weird kid. I did have friends that I'd hang out with, but they didn't always last. Most of them would ditch me in the end because I was a bit of a freak. In secondary school, I was a loud, disruptive pupil and I spent a lot of the time outside the headmaster's office or suspended. I was depressed and frustrated and dying for attention, and I didn't really feel like I had anything to lose. I ended up hanging out with this girl from Weston-super-Mare. I stayed over at her house and a load of kids from her street came to call for us and they seemed really eager to meet me and hang out with this new girl. Even boys were giving me compliments, which was really weird because that had never happened to me before. I smoked my first cigarette and I stayed out until after midnight. I was only 13. You might say that I fell in with the wrong crowd. I even knew that back then, but I didn't care because I felt popular and accepted and cool. I was one of the ordinary kids. My destructive behaviour and bad attitude got me kicked out of school a year later. I ended up enrolling at an art college when I was 15, which was pretty cool, but I lasted 3 months there before I was told to leave. So my life was full of epic fail and my mum's drinking had pushed me right over the edge, so I ended up moving in with my dad. We went to Ireland with Rachel and my auntie to visit their old house, but me and Rachel weren't old enough to drink the Guinness back then. Gutted. We still managed to sneak in a few duty-free cigarettes though. Seriously guys, don't smoke, it's a dirty, stinking habit. My dad decided to enrol me on this employment extension course in Weston. I had an amazing tutor called Barbara, and we did things like maths, English, hairdressing and music and loads of other really cool stuff. I was a new person afterwards, and I'd learnt a new respect for everything. I ended up going out with this dude for over a year. It got pretty serious, but he was a nasty possessive twat, so I finished with him. When I was 18, I did a BTEC National Diploma in Performing Arts. Acting, singing, dancing, all of those fabulous things. I discovered tap dancing and I loved it. I made friends with this dude in my class who loved it too, and we'd tap dance together at every opportunity. We were like the Fred and Ginger of Western-super-Mare. In the pantomime, we played Daisy the Cow together, the tap dancing pantomime cow. The kids loved us. Tap dancing inside a heavy cow costume when you can't see anything is a massive challenge, but we totally kicked ass. I was the front end, by the way. I've always been called a drama queen because I'm loud and colourful and a bit over the top. My dad always used to say, "Beth, you're a total DQ." And when I got my diploma, I started replying to these comments with, "Actually, I'm a professional drama queen." Hence the name Professional DQ. Absolutely nothing to do with any kind of Dairy Queen. After I left college, I got a job as a barmaid in a lovely Yatton pub called the Prince of Orange. It was really, really cool. I learned how to pour 5 pints at a time and draw a shamrock on the top of a pint of Guinness. And I made friends with all the lovely locals. It was so much fun, like watching everybody get drunk. To this day, I still say it was the best job I ever had. When I was 20, I ended up going out with a guy I met on MySpace. He was a young, tall, dark, handsome gent, what some women would describe as the perfect man. He was a policeman and he had one of those fast cars that went wham tsh. He treated me like a lady and bought me flowers and expensive gifts and all those kind of things. I felt really posh and classy, and I ended up cutting my long hair into a bob. Never again. I really thought I was going to marry him and live happily ever after, but he got a job in London and ended it with me over the phone. Bastard. I was absolutely gutted. But I forgave him and we're still on good terms after moving on. I didn't learn to drive until I was 21, because it's really expensive. I was told that I'd never be able to drive a car, and I think everyone expected me to either lose my patience and give up, or just crash and fail or something. So I had a lot of fun rubbing it in everyone's faces after I passed first time after 3 months of learning. I had a red, faded, dented 1998 Peugeot 106. I named him Otis and kitted him out with zebra seat covers and loads of pink fluffy things. He was my pride and joy. Bit of a police magnet though. I got pulled over all the time. One time I was actually speeding though, so that was pretty shit. I learnt a lesson from that though. With a car, the world was my oyster, so what did I do? I got a job in a comic call centre 5 miles away. Woo, adventurous. My manager was a total bitch who couldn't manage her way out of a paper bag. Her assistant, on the other hand, my supervisor, was another story. He was 36, he had long scruffy hair and was really helpful and supportive. In our stats update sessions, I'd have the most epic conversations with him about humans evolving with wings or wheels, or chairs that could walk around your house and get beers out of the fridge for you. His name was Dan. I made it really, really obvious that I wanted him, but conversation was as far as he was allowed to go though, because he was my supervisor. Eventually though, he stepped down and changed job roles, and on a works night out, we all had a few beers, and yeah, Dan was mine. I was 23, he was 36. My dad didn't approve of such a massive age gap and refused to meet him or even hear about him. I understood why he felt that way, but it still made me really sad. I ended up moving in with a girl from work just for a bit of freedom, and my dad came round eventually and everything was fine. Dan took me to my first ever festival and it was amazing. I knew that this was who I wanted to spend my life with. Dan was my perfect man. I had to leave my job at Comet because my manager made things really difficult. She was demoted for bullying after I left though, so I kind of took some satisfaction from that. I was looking on the internet for jobs or new opportunities and I stumbled across a load of nail art videos. I've liked painting my nails since I was about 7 and I thought this nail art was really cool. I tried out some of the designs on me and my friends, mostly on Rachel, and everyone went mental for them and said I should do more. So I went to college to get an MVQ in nails, just the basic stuff like manicures and acrylics and stuff like that. My dad bought me a camera for Christmas because he thought that I could do nails like all these cool girls on the internet. So I did. I uploaded a few videos and even though it went really slowly, I had some really nice comments and made friends with loads of the lovely people in the YouTube community. This might sound sad, but making videos felt like the most productive and satisfying thing ever. I moved in with Dan to a first floor council flat in Portishead and I got a job as a waitress at a local restaurant. It was really small and we had no money or furniture. When we first moved in, all we had was a beanbag, a kettle and a plastic fold-out picnic table. And an HTC phone with radio so we didn't go stir crazy. We didn't even have curtains so we pegged a bedsheet up against the window, but I was so happy because I was with Dan. I'd live in a cardboard box with Dan and be happy, but we try and aim higher than that in life. I still carried on making videos on my wobbly picnic table and then driving 20 miles to see my dad so I could use his internet to upload them. After a year or so of working hard, partying harder and painting rainbows on YouTube, Comet suddenly went bust and died electricals. And Dan was made redundant after almost a decade there. It was a massive shock and we were like shit in a brick because we had stuff like rent to pay. But times are never too hard when you've got the support of family and friends, and he eventually landed a job as a chef in a new trendy restaurant. I'd worked really hard on my YouTube channel and I applied for a partnership and waited patiently for over a year to be accepted. I'd had so many amazing comments and messages, and a couple of rude ones here and there, and I'd made some proper good friends. I was invited to BeautyCon at the London Google offices and I got to meet Pixie Woo, Andrea from Andrea's Choice, Claire Delise, a load of other lovely YouTubers and Candy Johnson. She is absolutely mental in real life and she made everyone smile the whole time she was there. It was actually quite infectious. Anyone who says that her excited, smiley, candy sweetness is all an act is definitely 100% wrong. Trust me, she could make grumpy cats smile without even trying. It was an awesome experience and it made me want to work even harder on my videos. And it also made me realise that there's loads of amazing artists around and it inspired me to try something a bit different, like unicorn farts or psychedelic pianos. And then I painted a twisted love story about 2 balloons for Valentine's Day. It took me over a week to compose the whole thing and I thought it was a bit daft, but I uploaded it anyway because even though it was daft, I was just having a laugh. And you guys loved it. I didn't expect such a huge reaction, but it was amazing, so I wrote another one about unicorn snot. And after uploading a few controversial, weird and sometimes slightly rude rainbowy videos, my channel and my mind exploded with so many ideas. I've had some of the weirdest, most hilarious and beautiful comments I've ever heard in my life. When I used to watch other YouTubers say, "Oh, you guys inspire me so much," I thought it was all a load of kissing ass bullshit, to be honest. But I was completely wrong. It makes perfect sense now. If it wasn't for your encouragement, your crazy request, or unicorn puke inspired rambles, then I probably wouldn't have even ventured as far as psychedelic pianos. Basically, what I'm saying is, YouTube is the only place I've found where I can completely express myself and be myself. I can embrace the crazy annoying weirdo that I am and meet other crazy annoying weirdos and be accepted by loads of lovely non-weirdos too. It's amazing. I've never really known what I wanted to be when I grow up, or even what counts as being grown up. When I was a kid, I thought it would be really cool to have a fun, easy, glamorous job by the time I'm about 25, be really pretty and slim, marry a big, tall, muscly, handsome man and live in a nice big house with lots of money and holidays in the sun. We both drive really nice, fast but pretty cars, have a couple of kids and a dog and a cat, and really cool friends in a local bar that we'd hang out with and drink wine together and talk about work and family life. I'm 27 now, and I paint nails, make videos, and occasionally pour pints and wait tables for a living. I'm 2 inches taller than my long-haired, scruffy bearded boyfriend who I've been with for nearly 4 years and haven't married yet. I live in a tiny council flat with noisy neighbours and second-hand unmatching curtains. We go to Sunrise Festival once a year about 50 miles away. Sometimes it rains and my rainbow clothes get covered in mud. I have a 10-year-old dented Vauxhall Astra with a broken window and broken aircon. We have 0 kids and no pets are allowed. And we hang out with a huge bunch of freaks who live in the middle of nowhere, and we sit on old sofas and drink and dance around like no one's watching in their backyard and talk about unicorns and alien life forms and eat hula hoops and chips. And it's the best thing ever! And some of the coolest people I've ever met and the biggest life lessons I've learned are from the other side of the country or even the other side of the world. Some people I've never even seen, so I have to paint a picture in my head of what they might look like. It's insanely cool. I don't know what the future will hold. Maybe I'll become famous and be on TV and move to a big house where we're allowed to have a cat. Or I'll marry Dan and go and live in a Volkswagen camper van and make a living pouring pints and painting unicorns around the world. Or maybe my hands will fall off, so I'll start writing rap songs about nail polish, and I'll win Britain's Got Talent by making Amanda Holden cry with my deep, meaningful lyrics and ability to play the guitar with my elbows. But whatever happens, I'm living the dream right now. I have everything I could ever need in life and more. A roof, a car, food, freedom to be myself, and a massive ton of love and respect from my amazing Dan, my beautiful, insane family, and thousands of sweet, crazy, and amazing strangers and friends on the internet. And lots of tea, obviously. Thank you for everything. Thank you for accepting me for the freak that I am and always will be.